at once. So I'm still figuring it out. So thanks for your patience with me. I just wanted to take a moment to do a live video and just share with you these passions that I have and just give you a little more information about it, because it can feel confusing. So when you look in my Facebook feed and in my Instagram feed, you're going to see grief yoga and you're going to see laughter yoga. And like, how do those two even coexist? You know, when we're feeling huge amounts of grief, nothing is funny and there's no reason to laugh. And when we're laughing, you know, it's because something is funny, right? Because we are having an experience of seeing something outside of us that makes us laugh. But you know what? We don't have to laugh for any reason at all. We can laugh just for the pure sake of laughter. The body does not know the difference between simulated laughter. So that would sound like, and the real thing. Even though you might know the difference right now when you're listening to me, my body doesn't know the difference. It still creates the same chemical reactions going on inside of me. And so the body is still releasing those happy chemicals, even if I'm faking it. So part of the reason that I'm constantly like, yay, let's laugh. The reason I'm always talking about this is because we're training our bodies to be more resilient and to expand our capacity to feel joy right in the midst of the hard times. Because right in the midst of the hard times, there is always goodness, there's always connection, there's always love. And in truth, grief, when we are experiencing grief, and it's true deep grief, it's usually because something that we love has gone away from this physical experience. That's my own experience of grief. And, you know, I want to share a little story. When one of my very dearest friends passed, she passed in 2018 from breast cancer. And my mother had passed the year before. And so it was a really hard time. And a few days before she passed, I was with some of the caregivers in her room with her, and we were moving her, and I was leaning towards her and I was picking up this piece of cloth to move her, just to reposition her, right? And hey, Gwen, good to see you. And she said she could barely talk. One side of her body was paralyzed, but she and I have hung out a lot over the years, just one of my dearest friends. And we'd practiced joy a lot. We'd practiced laughing. We'd practiced feeling our feelings. We'd practiced speaking gibberish and feeling angry and then bursting into laughter. So her body was conditioned and it knew what to do. So I was leaning up against her and I was trying to move her, and she kept saying, and I had no idea what she was saying. So I kept trying to get closer to her to listen. And she kept saying, and so finally I got really close and she spoke really slowly because she could only speak in a whisper. And she said, "Your hair is tickling me." My hair was tickling her, and we burst into laughter. Now, of course, her laughter was a but my laughter was just effusive and just off the charts. And the other people in the room were confused and they didn't know what to do because they were worried about her, right? But the truth is that we all want to laugh. We all want a release. And what happens when we're in a group with other people in any type of a setting, when people are laughing for no reason, we're just burst out into laughter, the mirror neurons in each one of us see what other people are doing and copy that, because we want to feel good. We want to feel better. So remember that laughter is a tool that you can always use. And I am one of many, many laughter yoga leaders and teachers, you know, all over the world that are teaching online. You can always look up laughter yoga online. And I'm also teaching every Wednesday. So I'll be teaching this evening. And I'll put that link right down here in the chat if people are interested in, well, I won't be able to do that right now, but I'll do it later. And yeah, you can always come and join us. It's just so good for our hearts. It's so good for our nervous systems. I want to speak a little bit about grief and loss, because that is a big thing going on right now. a loss of our freedom due to COVID, a loss of a feeling of our, independence. When as maybe people get sick or as we're getting older, we can feel like if we're having health challenges, we can feel a loss of our independence. Recently in my area, Santa Cruz, California, we've been experiencing some very intense fires. Over 900 homes burned down. 4 of my friends lost their homes. That's intense loss. That's intense grief. We are mourning collective grief with all that's going on with Black Lives Matter and just creating balance in the racial injustice in our world, in our society, really here in the US. So there's just so many things and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. When we are not moving that through, and this is what I call emotional hygiene, when we are not moving that through, it backlogs in our system. And you know what? Our nervous system needs to regulate us. And so what does it do? It takes care of us, right? Emotional eating, addictive behaviors, whatever we can do to numb. We get on the TV, we go shopping online. Maybe some people might exercise, some people might do something healthy, work in the garden, whatever it is, we need to find balance. But when you have those moments where, let's say, you're craving a glass of wine. Now, I want to say alcohol is not my drug of comfort. Really, ice cream is, sugar is. But the other night, I had a family member over during the weekend, and there was a bottle of wine on the counter, and I never drink by myself. I hardly ever drink anyway. But the other night, I felt like, oh, I really like to have a glass of wine. And it was confusing for me because that never happens to me. And so I was able to just take myself out of that situation and to just refocus and think, what is going on? And I did a little laughter, and I also did a little gibberish and like getting angry and freaking out and doing whatever I needed to do in gibberish. So let's do that for a moment, because once I did that, the feeling cleared, right? The feeling cleared. So when we meet that feeling inside of us, it's an emotional release. That's what emotional hygiene is. We are taught how to take showers, to brush our teeth, to take care of ourselves, but we don't always know what to do with our emotions. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to speak a little gibberish. And if you're with me, just speak it with me. Just if you're watching this later, just like pick something that's just like really frustrating to you. Gibberish is a made up language, and we're just going to go like, right? Now, I don't know what happened for you, but for me, breath was restored. Because often when my mind gets spinning, hey, John, good to see you here. Often when my mind gets spinning and I'm not giving myself permission to sit down and meditate or go out on a walk or do the things that I know help me, I just need to breathe because I'm holding my breath, right? I'm tight. I'm feeling nothing. I'm numbing myself out, which is an appropriate response, except for when it keeps happening over and over and over, we shut down our capacity to feel. And so if we're not feeling the pain and the suffering and the grief and the loss and the anger, we're also not feeling the joy. We're not feeling the true joy and the happiness and the deep love. So it shuts it all off, and it kind of makes us a little bit numb. We don't want that. We don't want that numbness. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to invite you all. We are just going to like scream for a moment, but see, conveniently, I'm just going to put you on mute. So you're just going to watch me screaming, but it's going to be muted, and let yourself like scream too. Like, this is a crazy world. What do you need to just scream out? All right. So here we go. We're going to scream it out. That is always so fun. It makes me laugh because it's also kind of uncomfortable, right? It's kind of uncomfortable. So let's just take a few nice deep breaths in. And we're going to move the body. Do it again. Opening our arms up wide, expanding the lungs. Getting a nice big smile on your face. And this last time, as we finish up, we're going to, on the exhale, we're going to giggle together. All right? Hey, Heather. Okay, so here we go. And take a moment right now just to close your eyes and just be present in this moment. Just be present with the feeling, all that oxygen moving in your brain and body, happy chemicals dumped into your system because of the laughter. Just letting yourself feel and get a nice big smile on your face. And opening your eyes. Thank you all for joining me today. I just really appreciate it. I don't think I can see all of you who are watching the video right now because I'm on this different platform, but thank you, Gwen and John and Heather. I really appreciate you for commenting because then I know that you're there. And I have posted right here, there you go. That is the place where you can look up my laughter yoga classes, which are every Wednesday. You can also see grief yoga classes coming up in the future. And I just gave you a little sampling right now of empathy and compassion sort of in a laughter way. Yeah, and in a feeling way. It's called emotional hygiene, and it expands our capacity to receive more good in our lives by really acknowledging that our nervous system and our mental health needs support. So just feel good about yourself and pass on these tools and encourage anyone you like to come join us tonight, 5:45 Pacific time for an hour of laughter and joy practice with fun people. Thanks so much for coming. Let's see. Heather, I am in Santa Cruz, California. Thank you for asking. And yay, Deborah! I'm so glad to see you here. Woohoo! Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, it's really important when we give ourselves permission to just hold all the parts. It's super uncomfortable, right? Like, right? It's super uncomfortable, but it's who we are, you know? And it just, I don't know, if you guys have found a way to like reject yourself and those parts of yourself and then live an honest, authentic life where you feel fulfilled, let me know. But so far, I haven't figured that out yet. I figured that we are here to have an emotion. We're emotional beings, you know? We're having a physical experience, but we're having also a very emotional experience. So let's really feel it. You know, if you're pissed off, feel it. There's some really great songs out there to experience some of that anger and frustration. We got to let it out. We got to feel it to heal it. So if you're in a grief yoga class with me, we have some of that time where we punch it out and we say why, and we just do all these different things. So look for more little blurbs where I'm going to be talking about grief yoga, laughter yoga, and emotional hygiene. Yay, I love you all. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. Okay, I'll see you soon.